All right, guys, by the magic of television, we're here out on the show floor at UK Games Expo. I've been let loose from the live streaming room to come and meet the guys behind Bar Pig. So I've got Jonathan and Phil here, and we're going to learn a little bit more about the game and also your Kickstarter, which by the time you see this will be utterly live, but we're going to be counting down because I want some bubbly. So yeah, this sounds pretty awesome. But yeah, so Bar Pig, give us a little bit of a rundown exactly what the game's all about.
Yeah, so what we like to say is Bar Pig is a collection of silly group activities mixed with a vindictive revenge system in the form of item cards. So it's a bit of this group shenanigans, but then when someone does something against you, you got a way to get your revenge by just playing a take that kind of strategy.
And so how did this game come about? Like, what was the sort of impetus behind it, the sort of spurs you want to start making the game?
Well, like all good things, a pint of beer, actually.
That's a good place to start anything, I think.
We were in a pub in a small town in Holland called Tilburg. We're actually based in Amsterdam. And we got to an amusement park for the day, and afterwards went out to town. And there was a pub of a band, got to play later on, so we thought, oh, we'll wait for the band. Oh, we're kind of bored waiting. What do we do? Well, we'll think up a game. Yeah, there should be like a really good game to take with you from the pub or your friends. Yeah, like bar games, but not as simple. Yeah, but like Munchkin, but not that involved and complex. Something in between. And Phil said it's like an adventure across the bars. And at the same time, we literally said, a bar PG. Laughed. We had one of these beer mats and stuff. We started writing down character names like Barbarian, Porcerer, Glassassin, Drum Monk. And then the band came up and we just kept drinking and enjoyed the music. And the next morning I woke up, pulled the beer mat out of my back pocket and I went, you want to do something of this? 3 years later? 4 years later?
So we evolved from BarPG thanks to our Dutch followers, yes, who kept mispronouncing it as Bar Pig. And then we're like, all right, well, let's just be Bar Pig then. And that gave us the pig motif we needed to really kind of attract the Disney crowd, I guess. The drinking Disney crowd. There's a lot of them, I suppose.
There's still a lot of adults that go to Disneyland, so there's clearly a market for it, yeah, I suppose so.
Definitely. So, and yeah, basically, that's where it developed from. And after play testing of our friends, one afternoon we're in a pub someplace. We just had a home printed out, A4 divided by 9 cards. And some random Danish guy comes around and says, oh, this looks like fun. What is it? Come play with us. Sits down with us. We have a few games. He's laughing his ass off. 20 minutes later, we're done. We're all had a great time, made a new friend. And the guy says, how do I get a copy? So next step was Kickstarter for the original. Yeah.
So, for those of us who haven't seen Bar Pig before, could you take us a little bit through the mechanics of how it all works and stuff? Is that pretty cool? Yeah. Do that, yeah. So if my cameraman wants to come in, we'll have a quick look at the game a little bit closer. So yeah, take us through it.
Okay, 3 to 7 players, and I take you looking at this card here, right? Perfect. So every player has got the following setup. They have a level card. On top of that goes your bar tab. And on top of that goes your character card, 1 of 10, chosen at random. And I'll ask you, Adam, channel your inner Bar Pig.
I'm going to ask you to use your psychic powers to channel your inner pig and find the pig that best suits you.
Okay.
Wait, 1 second, I just realized.
Just let it happen.
Okay, oh, true, yeah, let it happen. Good point.
Okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to channel my inner pig. I'm going to go for this one.
That's interesting.
The Blockaneer. The Buccaneer, yeah.
Bock beer, Buccaneer. So, the character card goes on top of the rest of the playing cards like this. And just a little side note, probably seen that corner, it says After Hours.
That's a little bit of a teaser as to what's happening later.
Yep. Once again, the expansion is going to be modular or standalone. But in this deck, we have them all mixed together. So, the object of the game is the first player to reach level 5 wins. And we get there by all rolling a d6, like your initiative roll, except the player that last leveled up. So you have your good friends that are good at rolling dice. Well, they got to sit it out once in a while and let you win. Highest roll? That's okay, it's probably more realistically like that. Levels up and announces their character name and power. For instance, the Buccaneer. Mercenary code. Secretly choose an object you can see. Describe that object 1 word at a time, whilst all other players point to what they think is your chosen object. The last 2 points of correct objects are going to lose drinks and a sober point. All right, so to be clear, it's a dry game. Drinks is a form of currency. And sober points are a form of damage. And that's where this game really comes out to its own. I mean, we've just had a fun challenge. It involves the whole group every single time. It involves the room. It involves as well creativity of the players itself. So replayability is really high. Whoever loses the challenge will lose drinks off your bar tab and a sober point. And there we go. The genius of a little sliding system. It's like a character sheet. Yeah, thank you. It's a character sheet and 3 cards. This is your damage. Lose too many, you're blackout drunk. And depending if it's the original or the after hours, it'll either set you back to level 1 or just lose a level, change your character, lose all your items. So you're still in the game. We like to say no one loses, someone's going to win.
I love that kind of thing. Player elimination is something that I'm always a little bit iffy on when it comes to games, and especially when you get it in take-that games as well.
Exactly, and especially when games are involving everyone in ridiculous, fun challenge. You want to keep everyone there all the time, you know? Want to keep it bubbling. So yeah, when that happens, the players have the opportunity then, during what we call the market round, to exchange these drink points for a plethora, there's a word, of item cards. And you can build up your arsenal in your hand and play at any time. And they can do things like steal another player's turn, or that was very random.
They need to be shuffled, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Technical difficulties, folks.
Technical difficulties, please stand by. Or you can cancel, or you can cancel a card just being played. Or you can force someone to re-roll the dice. Got another one for people that really enjoy, you know, strategy. Play the snake eyes, determine what the dice roll is itself. You can deflect the damage to someone else. You can actually change the game being played temporarily. It's a whole bunch of items like that, pretty much. There's 12 item types in the original Bar Pig. There are 14 in After Hours. Both of them have a form of what we call either the bouncer or, in this case, the angry barman. And he creates a mechanic where we actually force players to change characters. So there's always a character rotation rate going on.
Cool. So even if you've got that sort of one game in play for a while, there's always something new that's going to come up and keep it going and stop it from going stale and that kind of thing. So yeah.
Very few games of Bar Pig will have the same character challenge done one after the other, pretty much, yeah. So, and that's pretty much how it's played. Did I miss anything? I think so, yeah.
So what you were saying there, obviously you've got the core sort of rules there and mechanics of Bar Pig. What was then added in with the After Hours expansion that's coming to Kickstarter?
Yeah. I'll take this one. Yeah. So what we did is, the cool thing about After Hours is after 2 years, we've gotten so much outreach and feedback from our fans that we really have an idea of where we wanted to go with the expansion. So this time we've kind of taken away the voting challenges, which were a bit silly, a bit more creative, and replaced them with something that gives it a little more edge. So now you don't need to be, you know, this extreme extrovert, improvisational actor. You can actually just focus on, you know, individual skills or doing things that require a little more than just, you know, making your friends laugh.
That's very awesome, yeah. And so how long is it going to be on Kickstarter for?
Yeah, the typical 31 days pretty much. So from May 31st today until June 30th. So
you got some cool stretch goals and stuff planned in there as well, or?
So many. The first one, I'm getting chills thinking about it again, is an 11th character. In original Bar Pig, we had 9 characters and we stretched it out to 10. Doing the same for After Hours, but this time one more. And the cool thing is this character actually hides in the item deck. So he suddenly reappears, you know. We've got some really good exclusive items for the Kickstarter backers only. There's another new custom dice coming out as well. And one of the really exciting things coming out as well is the original Bar Pig stock is selling out. So for you people coming to UK Games Expo, this will be your last chance to get one of the original packs of Bar Pig. After this, we're going to sell out the 250 we have left. We know for sure. I mean, we're tearing through them like no one's business. And we're going to be reprinting. The reprint's going to have a new box. And one of the stretch goals for the Kickstarter is we're going to have our illustrator adjust the artwork of the original characters. So from there on in, every edition of original Bar Pig will look like that, but the first edition will be very special and very exclusive.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, one of the stretch goals that I'm really excited about is we're actually looking to see that maybe the first version of the artwork can get redone by our artist. Part of our artist has also been going along with this art style. The first time he was trying to figure out how to anthropomorphize animals.
That's a word, no, yeah.
It's been a while since I've been in university. Big words don't work anymore. So he's looking for he's figured out the formula. So with the after hours, he's having a lot more fun with the characters, and he's like, I got to go back and do these original characters. So we might even, if we reach that stretch goal, be able to create a revamp of our original characters. So that not only gives you an exclusive first edition that's going to be selling out soon, but possibly a second edition with redone artwork, which I'm so excited about.
That's pretty awesome. One of the things I was just wondering about asking you is that in the designing of this, obviously you've told us about how it came to be, but in the playtesting and all that kind of thing, there must have been some pretty funny standout moments from it, right? Do you have a couple of these that you can share with us, yeah?
So one of my favorite experiments is when we were figuring out cardstock and going to all these manufacturers, we were just given you get pallets and pallets of samples. So we're like, well, we want a card that can take a beating. So what we did, it's very important for this style of game. There's drinks on the table, you never know. So what we did is we unloaded the cards in a giant tray, filled that tray with beer, and then I forget why, but we had to leave the house for some reason. So they ended up being there for 8 hours. And when we got back, we were like, oh, that's a little bit too long. But the cardstock we chose was actually the only cardstock to survive that whole ordeal. So once we laid it on a towel, put it between two books, then we're like, all right, you know what, this cardstock is one. This is the golden ticket, so to speak.
8 hours of soaked beer later and it's still working. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we've actually gotten feedback from a lot of people that own Barpig. They say, I was so worried, I spilled a drink in it and I wiped it down and it was fine. We're like, yeah, duh. No, sorry. We've been there.
We haven't told you the story of the 8-hour beer in the thing, but
exactly. I mean, come on.
So what was the story you wanted to share, sorry?
Oh no, that was the story I wanted to share too.
So it clearly was the best of the stories,
Well, there is another fun story when we first brought our first edition out. I mean, the A4 cut in 9 slots version. It was actually for Phil's birthday, and we went pub crawling a bit, and we're like, yeah, this will be fun. It was so broken. It was so broken, but it had potential, and it was your brother that said, work on this, make items, get the ball rolling. And here we are. Who would have thunk it?
Have you got a good dedicated set of players that help you test the game and stuff like that?
Yeah, our friends. The people here in the booth right now, we love them so much. They really help us out so much. And every time we're like, oh guys, do you mind us play testing? We're ready to ask him, and they go, yeah, when? I'll be there.
Yeah, the interesting thing is when it's a hobby, we got in a habit of when we're designing this game to be like, we have to play test, and we're keeping this very, very, this is something that has to be done, that we forgot we were actually playing our own game. Yeah. So when we took a step back in our own creative process, we're like, you know what, this is something we do for fun, we don't have to play test, we just have to play our game. And then it became an entirely different viewpoint, and now it's something that our friends want to do on a Friday night.
It's also a bit of a lesson, and when you make your hobby something bigger than itself, it's still a hobby. And it's important not to lose each other in that, for sure.
By the time you guys see this...
3 minutes to launch!
As you can tell, these guys are pretty crazy. By the time this game comes out, by the time you see this on the live stream, this game will have come onto Kickstarter. Barpig sounds absolutely awesome. After Hours seems really good as well. I can't wait to get stuck into it and give it a go. Really looking forward to it as well. So make sure you tune in for that, for everything else that's going on. Get involved in the Kickstarter. Check it all out for yourself. There's going to be videos and stuff on the page, I imagine, yeah? Loads of stuff you get stuck into with demos and all kind of things like that. We'll catch you guys very, very soon for more stuff here on the live stream, and of course as part of the live blog. There's the Monster Apocalypse prize we've got running, which is pretty awesome. You know Monster Apocalypse from Private Press? We've got an awesome prize, a big starter bundle for those guys, which is going to be fantastic. So yeah, check that out as well. I've knocked over the pig, that's a bad sign. We'll catch you guys very soon for some more stuff here at UK Games Expo. Bye for now.